The Chaser Report is recorded on Gadigal land.
Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is the Chaser Report.
Hello and welcome to the Chaser Report with Dom and Charles. And
Hello.
Dom, end of the week.
Oh, are you going to do more gloating? Because the podcast really has been the Charles gloating report of late. And you kind of got to keep the strong predictions coming rather than just continuing to ride on your own coattails.
Well, on yesterday's episode, I predicted that this episode would be all about how great I am.
Oh, God.
And so let's see how accurate that prediction is.
Yeah.
By talking about how great I am.
Oh, dear God, I hope you got more than that.
You'll see after this. The thing is, Dom, I have a problem.
Oh, really?
Right.
It's not humility.
No. Am I becoming a good parent?
Oh, no, that's an easier question to answer.
So the thing is, my eldest son has started skipping classes, like to attend class. Like he started skipping classes.
I see what
You
you're
see what I
saying.
mean? Yeah.
So you used to skip classes like a normal teenager.
Well, he used to just like try and get out of them by going, oh, I really want to, I'm really sick today or whatever. Like just the standard sort of stuff that we all
standard
do,
stuff,
well into adulthood. But yeah, so he's really like this morning he got up, he was a bit sick last night and coughing and everything like that. And I actually went into his room and said, you should take the day off. Tomorrow, stay home, get better, you'll feel better, you can go to school next week, you'll be all fine.
Yeah.
And instead, after I left, he got up and raced to school. Like, what the hell? Behind my back.
Charles, I'm really disappointed.
Because he wanted to hand in an assignment in his least favourite subject. Like, he wants to achieve even in the stuff that he doesn't like.
Charles, I don't want to be unkind to you, but is it possible he's very motivated to exceed you?
Well, I think he's going through a rebellious phase. Yes. I think what he's doing is he's trying to sort of, like, I'm trying to be like casual dad type.
If I hand in my assignment,
Yeah.
I will achieve more in life than my father. Yeah, look,
Yes.
I can see that.
You see what I mean?
He's rebelling
Like,
against your track record and your example.
He's seen what it's like, the life of a troubadour, touring around,
Troubadour.
trying to make people laugh. And he's gone, that is not the life for me.
No, I think emphatic rejection is what we'd call it. Much as you rejected your sensible parents with their proper careers
Yes.
to do this.
Yes.
Yeah, your son's clearly going, Grandma and Grandpa, we're onto something.
And the worst thing is, I think he's probably, looking at my extended family and looking at, my sister and stuff like that.
Oh, we're back on that. So if you just joined
suddenly-
the conversation, Charles' sister, amazingly successful. She's now a senior academic. She was previously Education Minister in New South Wales. She's got an AM. She's basically widely respected and admired.
Yes.
And somehow managed to be the only person in the New South Wales Labor government, the last one, that wasn't jailed for corruption.
Didn't go to jail, yeah.
Have an ICAC hearing or something.
Yeah.
So, that's a very good role model.
So-
Thank God she's there for your son.
So my son has decided he wants to become a scientist, you see.
Oh.
And because he's really, really interested in reptiles and dragons.
Sure.
and
Like a
things like that.
biologist or something.
And you need the marks. You need
Yeah.
to do well across the board to do that. Not that I would want to sabotage my own kids, but to sort of just knock them off the perch a bit. I arranged to get them to skip school for a couple of days.
Yep.
To come down and see me in, the last show down in Hobart.
Oh, right.
Just last week.
I think
for
I saw one of
Wankonomics.
them on social media or something like that. I was going, what's going on?
Yeah, right. Well, no, but the whole thing is they never made it down there because the night before they both announced, no, school is, as my youngest said, Dad, school is far more important than a free flight overseas. That's what he said to me.
Overseas to
Tasmania, yeah.
Charles, look, I don't know if I want to tell you what's really going on here because it's very clear to me.
What?
But I think it might hurt you. I think it might hurt your feelings. And I don't know that I want to do that.
What's going on? Tell me what's going on.
just
Because
think-
it doesn't make any sense to me why you would want to
there
skip
is no
class.
way. There's no way that your children want to go to school, right?
Oh, yeah, no,
It's
exactly.
all a facade. They're normal kids. They just don't want to see your comedy show. They particularly don't want to have to fly somewhere to see a show that was probably on here that they'll probably drag to here.
Yes.
And you're probably going, won't it be fun for you to see me again, but in Tasmania, after a long flight, you're taking them away from their friends and their screens and their reptiles
Yeah,
to watch you
Yes.
flounce around and
No, that does.
make lots of supposedly sharp observations about Australian politicians. That's what it is, isn't it? I mean,
No, that's
Scott Morrison's got lots of jobs. No, we know, Dad. We know. We don't need to hear it again.
see that's a huge relief, Don.
Is it?
Thank you so much for saying that because I was worried that they were becoming nerds.
Right. So you don't mind if they don't respect what you do and in fact it makes them uncomfortable.
No. Yeah, no, I mean I don't even respect what I do.
Well, I haven't been to economics either. To be fair, I mean I used to work in that industry, so I would have probably really enjoyed it. But it was a thing. I would have had to get tickets and go to it. It was too hard.
I would have given you a ticket.
I know.
I would have flown you down to Hobart, Dom.
Oh, actually, I would have gotten away from my kids. I should have taken you up on that. No, I think it's just normal resentment of their father, and I think the mistake you're making is that you're thinking that just because you're a fun dad and you do comedy and you do stuff that's objectively fun for most people pay to watch the stuff that you do for some reason.
Yeah.
That you being the dad trumps the fun, right?
Yes.
See what I'm saying? You could do any job and they'd still resent it and not like it because it was you and you were that dad.
So I'm sort of in that same category as say Ryan Reynolds and Meryl Streep and people like that whose kids all just disdain them.
Yes, in that sense, not in the universally respected and vastly successful sense. No, I mean Meryl Streep is basically byword for incredible performer, chameleon, not bloke who fronts up and does jokes about Clive Palmer being fat.
But I think what this shows is if you want to be a good parent, what you should do is you shouldn't try at all to be a good parent because I've never tried to be a good parent.
Okay.
And in doing so, I've ended up with these really good kids. Yeah. Whereas I think that if what I'd been doing is go to work, be all serious, it's all about getting a science degree that, thing, they would have rebelled and been more like what I've turned out, which is a terrible failure.
Oh, that's a very good insight. Well, actually, that's useful for me too going forward. Because I have a really opposite problem with my daughter. I mean, my 1-year-old's just figuring things out. But the 5-year-old, I don't respect her at all. And the reason is she really likes me.
Yes.
She really wants to spend time.
That's
when I walk into the house,
that's a phase.
I light up the light. She goes, Dada, and runs up and she does me these cards saying how much she loves me. She just really wants, she says, Dada, why can you pick me up from, childcare sooner or something, after school care sooner, because she really wants to see me. And I know me.
Yes.
There's not that much.
You can't respect that.
No, I can't respect her choices. It goes to show she has very low standards.
Terrible taste.
She's being uncritical. She enjoys my company far more than I do. And I just wanted to diversify and meet other people to respect who are more worthy of it.
Is there a universe, Dom?
Yes.
In which she is the 6 millionth downloader of the podcast?
Oh, she doesn't.
Does she download the podcast and listen to it all day?
Or is you wondering what the numbers came from? I don't think she knows what the podcast is.
Oh, okay, right.
She knows that I go off with Uncle Charles and talk shit.
Well, maybe the point is that if you showed her this podcast, she'd lose an enormous amount of respect for you.
I mean, part of me would be very, dead inside and very, very disappointed if that happened.
Yes.
But another part would go, well, at least she's developing some judgment. It's good to see.
Yeah.
It's good to see. And the other one can't speak yet, but you know what she's doing. The one who's 15 months old, she can't really, she hasn't really got any words yet. She says everything is dada. So everything, she wants milk dada. She wants food dada. She sees me dada. Occasionally there's a mum.
When she goes to the toilet, is there
dada? Absolutely dada. Yeah. Which again just shows a lack of discernment. She doesn't understand. Like she thinks it's such a good word that it means anything.
Yes.
Whereas I expect her to just use it as a term of contempt and disappointment.
Yeah.
Why does my life turn out dada?
Just wait with time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure the resentment is slowly behind the scenes sort of just building.
Yeah. Well, presumably in some ways, the greater they build you up, the further they then got to fall in terms of their expectations.
That's right. And I mean, all this massive amount of unconditional love that I've experienced in the past few years, particularly during the lockdown when I was basically, looking after my daughter most of the time. I don't know how to deal with it. It seems wrong, and I'll be very glad when it's over because, frankly, it's a little bit awkward.
Yes.
Yeah. Self-loathing is a much better. At least it's honest.
The Chaser Report. More news, less often.
So, look, I predicted that this episode would be just about how great I am.
We haven't even talked about the news. Yeah.
Yeah. Should we try and
Get some news in.
should we get some news in just so that we can say that that's what's on?
They haven't quite delivered on the central premise of the podcast at this stage.
Oh, okay, radio. Okay, well, let's get some news in. I'll tell you what. How about the Ashes?
Oh, yeah. How
on-
about the women's/men's Ashes?
It's been on since Wednesday. What a perler. Oh, I mean, the men's one's been on since Wednesday.
The women's one was a great victory for Australia, of course, a couple of days ago.
Yeah, of course.
And the men's one at Lords.
It's so good.
The pitch.
Oh, yes, the pitch.
Although I tell you what, the prospects of rain,
Yes.
they're always there.
Oh, and I'll tell you what, isn't Lords wonderful?
Oh, it's the home of cricket.
Yes.
And hasn't that been proven?
And aren't the Aussies cocks? They've been such cocks.
But the British are the English are cocks.
they're
Full
such
credit
cocks.
to England for managing to match Australia's dickheadedness.
Yes. Oh, Ben Stokes.
Oh, Ollie
Joe
Robertson.
Root.
The column he wrote for Wisden about how, Australia won the first test, but England played all the cricket. That's what he thought.
Yeah.
Imagine if you played all the cricket in a test and still lost. You'd feel like a dick, wouldn't you?
But I'll tell you what, Dom.
Yep.
Kawaja.
Oh,
Yes.
it's nice to see Steve Smith proving his critics, Lachlan, can you delete right or wrong? Proving his critics wrong this week. Good on you, Smith.
Ah, yes.
Or, Smith, it's time to retire. Hang up the bat.
Yes. And also, I mean, Dave Warner.
I actually know we can confidently predict he's going to fail. And you know what? It's a win-win because either we'll be right
Yes.
or Warner will actually get a good score. And I'm happy. I'm happy to be wrong.
Yes.
Predicting now that there is absolutely no chance Warner will ever get another century in Test cricket. Like he has said he wants to bat until the end of the Sydney Test.
I know. Don't you
January.
think that was? Do you remember when Julia Gillard got into power and Rudd was circling? And so what she did was 9 months out from the election, she said, the election will be held on the 22nd of August. Remember that?
I remember that, yeah.
And the whole point was that she thought, I've snookered you because, I've announced when I'm, retiring sort of thing. You can't sack me now. I've already retired.
You called the election.
Yeah. And instead Rudd just still knifed her and then
Didn't you have it
lost
like
the election.
1 week later just to have a different date?
Something like that. But I think that's what Dave Warner's attempted to do, which is attempted to say, I will be retiring on this day.
That's when I'll hang up my bat. Yep.
Yeah.
So the selectors, they'll let me do that, won't they? In recognition of my great service to Australian cricket. No, David.
Because I don't
Out.
think, has Warner ever had the technical proficiency to be able to get through slumps?
Well, also, he
You know what I
his
mean?
style
Like-
is to accurately predict it. Like, he just takes a swing.
Yes, that's right.
I suppose that's what this was, just taking a swing at sticking round.
And isn't it the point that as you get into your 30s, your the milliseconds that your instincts have just blow out, right? And so,
Unless you're Kawaja.
but if you're really if you've got good technique, you can actually make up for that with technique, right? But if you don't have good technique and you've just relied on your instincts
And your brute strength.
and your incredible reflexes getting you through, as your reflexes go, your whole game collapses. And so I think that's what's happened here. He can't rely on the muscle memory, of good technique because he never had it. It was a basher.
We've just got a double ton for Warner in the Lord's Test by predicting that there's no chance he can do it. That is a service to Australia, and I'm very glad to have provided it for you along with Charles. Our gear is from Rode. We're part of the Iconoclast Network, and we'll catch you next time when we'll do a mea culpa, I hope, on our predictions about Davey Warner.
Okay, that was good.